Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. What in the world is Stealth Max? How are folks going? Hey, Roller. Hey, Fixter Jake, Mitchell, and Derek. Hey, Andrew, and Demlar, and Kittrell. Hey, Rod. Hey, Mike. Hey, Bill. Derek, and Nurgle Rot. What else do we have here? NG, Humphrey, and Brian, and Bearded FXT, and Gert, and Hugo, and Charlie. Hey, Bob. Hey, Hypermotive Racing, and Timothy. How are folks? Nevermore. Oh, Nevermore Stealth Max. Okay. I know what that is. Positron stream was good. Apparently I need to get my mouth in order to form words. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Leo. Hey, Jeff. Jose. Bloodcat and SO6 and Marcus and Ryan and BA. Steve. Okay, we are back on this thing. I do need an intro. I really do. I've needed an intro for almost 3 years now. One day when I'm looking for things to do. So, hey Cliff, hey Joshua, Nappin. Okay. Trident. We ran into a few things last week that I think are basically solved. Oops, should have left that right there. Or an intern at work needs something to do. What you need is make more Discord streams. That was so much fun. We've got another one coming up. We will do one before too long. I need to get that done. Notice no gap. There's no gap. So Artisan Makes doesn't have an intro. I like his style. Yeah. Is that Azol? This is Azol. Welcome, Igor. Spent filament money on Nero stream. Even bought some PLA. Nice. Skyrim. So I didn't make any real changes. I did reprint the orbiter mount because I had cracked it down here. And, oh, I forgot to say, thanks, Derek, for the gifted memberships. I saw that earlier, and I forgot to say that. And thank you, Eclipse, for the gifted memberships. I spent a lot of time in CAD, measuring and looking at how the parts came out, and then looking at the STLs and measuring in Prusa Slicer, making sure everything lined up. And everything was right. And when I measured actual printed parts, everything was right. So I was really puzzled at what was going on. And in the short of it, I basically saved this screw on the end for tightening until last. I put the other 6 screws in, and I did take an X-Acto knife and I ovaled out this hole just a little bit, just so that when I did tighten it down, I had less of a chance of cracking it. And it went together. It tightened up fine. I don't know. Now, all of you making Polymaker orders, are you spreading those affiliate links out? I mean, mine's in the description. Speaking of which, we are giving away a roll today, just like any regular stream. Just like any regular stream, we will do that in 2 hours. Must be here to win. Link is in the pin post and the description. So, hey, Steven and Martin. Always forget about those. So do I. Don't worry about it. But if you remember, mine's down there. Any of your favorite creators, many of us have them. We're sleeping before that giveaway. You get a chance to be in the Polar Tid Club then. Enter anyway. Martin. Bronze lose print size compared to the Stealth Burner. I got CNC Front Idler, Chaotic Lab. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. They're all designed around Stealth Burners, so. Hey, 3D and T printing. I saw you on Nobad's stream working on his enclosure. Thanks for being here. Maybe UK site, I will order a roll off Amazon. It took 2 weeks to come. Yeah, I get it. Hey, Redacted. Okay, so today is basically going to be finish up, hopefully, the tool head, get it wired into the orbiter board here. Hey, Pezliz, welcome. You will draw me just now because we'll get it wired into here and everything, and then start working on the umbilical, and then we'll migrate underneath the deck and work on things like putting in new power supply, stuff like that. The other thing that I had fun, not fun things with last Tuesday is I could not get this to tension and not be racked. So V2, or is that the new V3? It's Orbiter V2, because I'm not using the V3 has all the integrated heatsink and supposed to be direct, right? It's an Orbiter V2, but it's the new Orbit Toolhead board. No problem. Redacted. Tanner, hello. Cool to see you in there on Positron today. Yeah, that was fun. We got them working. They printed. Here's a little better view of the, here, let's see. This is the first print. A little better camera view because you get all my bandwidth. Is that orbiter mount missing some heat sets? It is. I need to put them on here. Yep. This was the first print. It didn't stick all that great. It did warp up on the corners. That was just IPA clean glass. It wasn't even properly cleaned. So, and this is a neat little cube, because if you look down in there, if you can see, that's all hanging on by 4 little posts in there. So that's all overhang of this piece. It's kind of neat. And it prints like this. So it prints upside down, but right side up. So this is the second print. And if we start looking, let's start looking at direct comparisons. The ringing is substantially reduced. There are some VFAs. Need to look at that. I have not messed with belt tensions. I haven't messed with anything like that. So there are still some VFAs, but the ringing is nearly gone. Nearly. That was just an auto tune. The first layer was much better. This is after I put Vision Miner on it. Very sharp, but very squished. But yeah. PA values are close. They're not perfect, but it is good. So when on the screen, the left one was after Input Shaper. You can kind of see a bit there, but really that's probably the biggest view. If I make that, and then that one doesn't have, if we look through there, you can see the obvious ringing, and it is significantly reduced. Hey, Clownhammer. Hey, Kenneth. So anyway, back to this. So Squirrel. Basically, I did nothing different except for take a little more time in, oh, I did do something different. When I was trying to tension the belts on Tuesday, I don't think the screws holding the steppers in place were tight enough, which meant I think it was allowing them to tilt a little bit as I was tightening things. I tightened these down quite a bit more and then crept up on a belt tension, and it is much better. I am at 2.8 on the PF Makes meter, which is near max of the scale, and that's where we're going to start. So, so let's take this off, and I need to put heat sets in here, and I'm going to do most of the wiring with it off the printer, because I can bolt the orbiter on here and just run everything up the sides into the control board and not have to sit here trying to find camera angles on the printer. So let's do that. these out of the way. The 0.3, 3D printing the 0.3 input shaper value. I think it could go a little higher, but before I do that, I need to do a little bit of flow tuning and such. Oh, screw trays had me thinking a custom deck sticker. Now, that'd be something. Do some big something on there. Oh, that's not gonna fall off. And to be, oh no, those have to, never mind. Okay, so then these two that are kind of tough to get to under here. Okay. Pull all these out. Go there. Doop. Okay, so there's the tool head. We can move the printer out of the way because I think we don't need this here right now. So much easier to move than black box. So we have that and that. And I think the very first thing I want to do is put some heat sets in here. Just those two top spots so that I can mount the extruder to it and look at file length, or not file lengths, file lengths, wire lengths. So what did you think overall of the Nero collab series? And what would you like to see for any future ones? Hey Wally, welcome. It's done there. Now we just have to start looking at what is this going to look like from a wire length point of view. I think we can bolt this directly to here. You're doing a collab with Nero. I did a collab with Nero. We built the positron. We built positrons over the course of basically 3 streams and then a 4th one to finish it up. Cool. I would like to see you building the Voron CNC mill. The problem with something like that is being on dev. I can't stream the dev stuff, and then once I build it, I have one. So it's a sacrifice I have to make of content for the ability to work on dev. More Steve talk, less Taylor talk. It's okay. So the approach I take with the collab stuff is kind of go with the flow. When I was hosting, I was talking more. When Taylor was hosting, he was talking more. So, hey BBs. Just like watching you guys, very different build styles, get a kick out of it. Awesome. Hearing about the design process and seeing both bounce ideas off each other. Enjoy any printer and Nerf blaster setter builds. Awesome. That would be a good idea. Maybe a blaster build or something. Be good for a next one. Playing with TNC Auto Tune. This machine went to sleep. Oh, I haven't messed with that yet. I need to. Okay, so that is on there, and this is on here. So we can basically, I think, just kind of get that together and then just kind of work on wire lengths. So hold this in place with that. And I'm hoping to reduce the chances that I accidentally tweak on this and break this again. I'm gonna throw these screws in here, since they go all the way through this back purple piece. Throw those on there, and I'm gonna throw a couple of nuts on there, just so I don't accidentally break this and need to reprint that again. Yeah, I really like the format. So Daniel Modbot and I brainstormed the general format for these collaborations, and I really like what we came up with, and that it's being that it's useful in other collabs. Okay, so now that's not going to break. I didn't want to trust just that screw. Now we're just going to start working our way through. So let's bring up this board. Let me see if I can find the Orbital docs. These are always fun, kind of looking for the documentation. So this is the SO3, and we have the SO2. So I'm going to take a guess. I know I can go through here another way, but I'm just going to guess. Let's see how consistent they are with their naming conventions. Nope. It didn't work. SO2 is not the same. Okay, let's open it up. I was having a hard time finding what the Toolboard Orbiter 2, but I think there was another link to it. Go home, and latest projects doesn't have the Orbit tool. Let's go here. Thingiverse page. Exciting story. Where is the toolhead? Side viewer, adapters and mounts. What's in here? This is what I was having a hard time with before, is figuring out Orbiter show off. What is that? No, those aren't clickable. That's under latest projects. Nope. I really don't like how hard it is to find documentation on this, and I've relayed that info. But why is this so hard to find, and what am I missing? Here, let's just go to the project GitHub. I had to go to a completely unrelated link to get to the GitHub. Orbiter toolboards. Let's try this. Orbiter 02. Here we are in documentation. And we really just need to pin out. But just even finding the GitHub link on the project page, I had to go to something completely different to get there. That's okay. We got there. This is really what we need. This guy right here. Let's just download this and I'll open it up outside of GitHub. Boom. And we are doing this is here. And save and open the file. There we go. This is what we want. So hot end temperature. We're not doing an X stop. We are doing our NeoPixel for the front. We don't have, and I haven't been able to get or find RGBW. What are those called? The little NeoPixels. They call them. I'm drawing a blank. I haven't found them. I was going to order them from the UK supplier, Sequence. Thank you. I was going to order them, but they don't. I think someone said, but they definitely don't ship to the US. And the only other source I can find are just RBG, and I kind of want the RBGW. Anyway, that has nothing to do with the Orbiter Toolboard. That's the XOL supports a sequin for nozzle LEDs, and can't find them. Adafruit doesn't have. Adafruit has single color, so just on/off sequins, but not RGB or RGBW. Okay, so we have hot end fan, and then part cooling fan, and then the Orbiter V2 sensor is the filament out sensor we're not going to be using. RGBW versus RGB is you have a dedicated white LED in the W version. So I'm imagining it's probably going to be a brighter, more white light instead of just turning them all on to get a white. There was a lot of failure on production for sequin LEDs. Some vendors complained. Not surprising. BL Touch we're not going to use, and the extruder is going to be there. So we don't have a whole lot really to wire up. There's a part fan and what is this? Part fan and tool fan. Now are both of those controllable and separately? Because I have two. Oh no, that's tool fan. Never mind. I was looking down here at this. Part fan and tool fan. So I need to make a little, I need to splice or combine the part cooling fans, which is annoying. I don't like to do that. What do I want to do? There's only one part fan port, and we have two part fans. Let me see. I have around here something we can try. Help. Those are actually in the other garage. Those little splitters. Oh, that's not gonna work either. That's not gonna work. Yeah, we need to run them in parallel. I know. I'm just trying to figure out if we're looking at keeping this clean, figuring out how to oh, hold on a second. Can we do this? We've got hot end fan here, and there's a part fan and a tool fan. I should just be able to use tool fan and part fan. And can I do in Clipper the little shared function over two pins? I think we can configure that, right? I know someone said that we may need a fan on this toolboard, but I'm not going to assume we need one yet. So I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in one into tool fan and one into part fan, and then the hot end fan will go into the hot end. And I think we can share those in the part cooling fan, or at least have two sections in there, right? Yeah, I think so. We'll figure it out. Okay, so now we are going to, we have, this is the part cooling fan. This is the hot end fan, and it is not long enough, of course. I think we're gonna go just basically straight up there and across into that. Unless I go under and around into that. Doesn't really matter. We've got just weird naming. I wonder if West 3D sells that sequence. They sell RGB sequence. So West 3D does sell RGB. I've been hoping to get the RGBW. Okay, we are going to extend that wire. We are going to take the part cooling fan on this side, and we will shorten that one to plug in right here. And is that the correct one? Yep, that is the correct pin out already. What type of connector this one used? What do you mean? That connector is the XT30 plus 2. The rest of these are JST XH. The rest of them are JST XH. So I think that's going to go up, zip tie here, and then maybe come across here like this and through this, just to keep things. And this one I might take across the top like that and then up to this side. Maybe I'll take both of these over here. That'll work too. Okay, let's get going. Because I'd like to get this installed and start on actually routing the umbilical. Start on routing the umbilical. So we're gonna do lots of little solder and splice and everything nice tonight. This D-pin tool works okay. A small screwdriver works just as well. You just kind of hit them all at once. This is, here we go. It is the same brand, the J-Ready, as the Microfit tool. Oh, there we go. Focused. Nice. Is Nighthawk just in a different form factor? No, I believe it's a different designer, electronics designer. I'm not 100% sure on this. These are designed by Robert Lorenz. I'm 99% sure that the Nighthawk, he didn't design those. Okay, so we're gonna, and then I'll do the same thing. I'm gonna stagger these just a little bit. And I'm also going to, where is it? If I can find it. I would label these. I think it's a good idea. I may have to go get my label maker. I think it's in the other garage. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it for me to go grab. So Nighthawk is unfortunately an RP2040 board. What is this one? Is this an STM? I guess we'll find out when we look at the config. BTT is about to launch their own USB board. I think I saw teasers on that. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Put you in the hands of Dancing Max. I'm gonna grab my label maker so we can label these, at least the fans. The rest of them are gonna be kind of self-explanatory, but we'll get the fans labeled at least. Be right back. Okay. STM is on the O2. Okay. I got another thing that I've listed in the description we're going to install, but this is 3DO camera stuff. So we'll install probably the chamber camera, not the nozzle camera, because I don't think there's a setup for that for XOL yet. Okay. The smaller. That's the bigger. There's the smaller stuff. Hey Scott, welcome. Hey GJ. Should have checked all the pinouts on the fans this time so you don't smoke another set of fans. I've already checked this one. And that wasn't my fault. Well, it's technically my fault, but still. Okay, so we've got labels. Create a label, not probe. Let's just fan part, and we're gonna do 2 of these. Fan part and fan hot end. And what else do we wanna? I guess we'll label the rest. Let's go T, and that's gonna be T0, hot end temp. And let's go Neo. I'm not gonna label the power for the hot end, the heater, and that'll probably be good enough. Print. And then, because this is dumb, I have to feed and cut. And you end up with waste. Oh well. I end up putting that in my, oh, there's some more NeoPixels I forgot I had. I'm just gonna go in this little bin for them. Yep, there they are. Oh, I don't know what I was gonna say. RGB would have been better. Yep, RGB would have been better. NeoPixel. Part cooling fan. I usually do just the 2 letters because I like short labels here too, because the longer the label, the more it gets in the way of arranging wires on something like this. So I do FP and FH. Then I can take these guys and put them in my little small heat shrink scrap thing. And then I can use Sharpies to make any color heat shrink tubing I want. So this one, the long one here, is the part fan right there. So this is, oh, and that goes all the way across there. That's funny. That's funny. That goes all the way across there. So it would be plenty long enough to go straight up, but well, shoot. It doesn't have to go across that channel. I can just go straight up. Most of these things are over here anyway. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take it out of here. Did you buy anything from the Prime Day sales? How long are Prime Day sales going on? Because I've been keeping my eye out on another 40 series video card. I think I'm just gonna go straight up through there. I mean, that's pretty packed, but it doesn't hurt. The tap sensor wire just broke on my 2.4 in the middle of a big batch of stuff I need to get out. Uh-oh. Yeah, instead of splicing that together, I'm gonna run that up through this same group of wires. So let's see if we can just get that to just push through. Today and tomorrow. Yeah, I'll look a little closer. I've just been busy today. Hold for a few months for a 40 series card. Well, I just bought. There are certain instances where it's definitely worth it to hold out for the next gen, whatever. It's just so, it can be so unpredictable. And if I need something now, I'm just going to get it now. And last time I held out for the 3 series card, and everything wasn't available and it was ridiculously expensive. So okay, so I'm gonna go up through there just with the other ones, just like that. And then I don't have to splice that wire. It can just go straight into there. That means the only wire coming around on this side will be the stepper and this fan. That's fine. More cost will be a lot less. 270 for the 3060. I need a 40 series though, because that supports the AV1 encoding, which is what I'm using right now, but this video card needs to go back in my main computer. Okay, so that's one. And then I want to, don't really like that. I would like those to be the opposite, have the rapido wire coming out the back of that, because it needs to go into there and there, those two. 3 series when 4 series was coming out, I got a 3090. Why don't you get an Intel card for just AV1? Because they don't make them anymore. And I'm sure there's other advantages. I mean, I still open Fusion on here. I still do other things on here. I think I'm gonna pull that out and rearrange these wires. And I might even cut the insulation here on the rapido down another 8 millimeters or so, just so I have more flexibility in how this goes. Because right now, the thermistor wires reach really well. These are gonna basically, I need all the little bit of length I can get on the main heater wires. So waiting to buy on tech is a surefire way to get caught in a never-ending cycle of waiting for the next thing or price drop. And if you don't need it, then it's a good idea. If there's something on the horizon, sure. If there's no pressing need, I don't really have a pressing need either. I can wait. Okay, pulling all this apart. I got my 4070 Ti Super that's in this computer right now on, what sale? It was a sale. Oh, 4th of July sale. It was a 4th of July sale. And it was $7.99, I think. Okay, so let's pull that off. This. So all of these can now much more easily come around just like that. That was all. And I kind of want to trim this back. So hopefully just use a knife and gently do that. I have an old GTX 1080. Mine is a 10, on the other computer, it's a 1080, not a 1080 Ti, just a 1080. And it is a great card. It just doesn't support the newer things. Okay, so let's see if I can split this. I'm going right in between the 2 heavy gauge wires there. Okay. Then I think I'm going to try to be a little careful here. Just cut this around with my side cutters. I need to get my overhead camera, my angles. I have an idea for changing the angles on that. So I'm gonna be more likely to just naturally be in camera view, because right now it's not natural for me I have to lean over too much. So I'm gonna shift things and probably angle it back a little bit. But that's why my whole setup here is so flexible. I can move it around wherever I want. You're funny, Poity. Okay, all those out, that right there, and now we can put this back on. Yeah, that will work better. Bricks, now back to it. Keep it up. I will. You too. Okay. So if that's going to go there, it's going to go around. I'm going to make these as long as I possibly can for the hot end, which means cutting these all the way at the edge. Get my those. I tell Scotty doesn't know. Okay, going to, since that's pretty short, I'm only going to trim these. Edge of 3D build collab when? We could do that. Just going to do all build collabs all the time. Every build. Okay, let's see how this is going to work, because I only really need as much in there as it's going to go into that terminal block. So I'm trying to save wire and not extend this. So these are probably 18 or 20 gauge. What do we have? 18 is red. Let's try the gray. See if we can get those to go in there. I think these are heavier gauge than gray, but I think it'll be okay. Yep, they went in without any resistance. So I'm gonna push that in. This gets cut off right there. Yeah, it's all the way in. About that long. It'll push all the way into there. There. Okay. A good rest of the build. I'm heading to bed. Don't pick my name now. See you napping. Just got a print finished here. See how that turned out. Printing the replacement parts for the 3.5 on the Mark IV in the enclosure. So I'm going to be putting ASA parts on the 3.5. Okay, so that's going to go there. Let's see if we can even. Oh, these are the nicer. This is the nicer terminal block too. So it appears. Little bit. There we go. And then that will zip tie right there and just kind of hang out right there. Cool. Just barely long enough. I think I can just go ahead and tighten those. Hey, Dutch dude. This. So where did those go? There and there. This comes here. And basically the same thing, just as long, just keeping basically all the wire. And over toolkit, we have, get black connections. Here. Oh. Shoot. Just dropped it. Don't know. It's white. I should be able to see it. Why can't I see it? Which one did I drop? Well, that's what I wanted. Thermistor 0 is have. But I dropped one of the PERT cooling fan ones and it fell right here, but I don't understand how I don't see it. It's bright white. Oh. No, that wasn't it. Wow, I found another scrap of the same white heat shrink, but it's not not the one I just dropped. That's really strange. I watched it drop and I can't find it. I watched it drop and I can't find it. that's not it. I'm surprised. Oops. That's very weird. But now you have that one. Yep. I will take the opportunity to make an RGB one. Phil, yes, 100%. Hey, Lyson. I dropped a label. And it is a part fan one. So let's do that. And RGB. Print. Okay. Feed and cut. Let's create some more scraps. I watched it go down in Flutter, but it only has so much mass. It's not going to bounce and fly somewhere. Didn't stick to the bottom of my shoe. Okay, so anyway, the one we were caring about is thermistor. So you find those to make a new one? Well, I stopped looking for this one because it's a label. I mean, maybe weeks later I'll find it. Like I have like the tiny little M3 shim. Eat more tacos. Happy birthday, Chris. Everybody say happy birthday to Practical Printing. I think we're a little backwards here. I should be treating you to tacos. Found it? Congrats. You're on the other side of the continent. Finding good tacos will be more difficult. This is probably true, right? What are the taco prospects where you're at? I've already sourced a spot for Tuesdays. Not the best, but not the worst. I think that's going to be the norm for you anymore, right? That's your life now. Not the best, not the worst tacos. Okay. Hey, Pathetic Puma. Oh boy, now I gotta figure out a little, which is this one. Figure out which ones are the, okay, I think this is the hot end fan. Which is weird because that's the one that still has ends on it. Why? It's that. Yeah. How is that? How is that the one? Okay, that's that one. That goes right there. Okay, so that is the, how did I, oh, both part cooling fans went over here. Okay, that's a part cooling fan too. These loose ones are the hot end fan. I see. I see. And that's gonna go there. And I can just go ahead and zip tie some of these. Too many red, that's why we're labeling. Talk to Nick, PPS CF10 comes out on the 25th. Nice. I can go for a bourbon. I picked up a stout at the store the other day that it's 18%. That'll be a fun drink. Okay, this is going to be easy enough just to start. So this is the only one that's going to be coming through here. It's Dragon's Milk Mash, something mash. Or white, what is it? It's a high octane is what it is. Yeah, you can get beer in 1 pint cans. You head down to OC Maker Fair, hit up the brewery. They make some amazing and potent stouts. I've had some brewery stuff. I've had some. Yeah, it's bourbon barrel. It's a bourbon barrel stout. I just saw it. I saw it was 18% and I had to try it. The highest octane stout I've ever tried, I think, was 23%, and I'm pretty sure it may have been a special edition from what's that? Who makes 805? Firewalker. That's it. Firewalker. It's hard to find really excellent ones. I'm a big stout and general dark beer fan. Okay, so that I'm gonna go right about there, and that's just gonna follow along there, and I'll probably put a small zip tie there with the stepper wires. Firestone. Thank you. Firestone. And this is a part cooling fan, so let's put that on there. Some crazy guy in Wyoming turned me on to Wyoming whiskey. I brought most of that Wyoming whiskey back home with me, and amazingly, most of it didn't give me a headache. Hey, Obi-Wan. Dragon's Milk is brewed not far from me. Where is that? Where, in general, where is not far from you? Right up the road from me. Oh, are you in California in that area, Arthur? I have a good friend who works for a wine a vineyard down there. Oh, not a vineyard, a wine, whatchamacallit. New Holland Breweries from Holland, Michigan. Yep, 805 just south of here, up there. We have a local brewery here, which has an awesome stout that's made with oysters. Interesting. Lagunitas shouldn't be too far from you. Yeah, I don't think they're too far. I haven't really, none of their stuff is like, I don't seek it out. Okay, so this is here, there, itty bitty wires. I had, my friend and I bought a bottle of Angel's Envy Special Reserve one time. It was good stuff. Used to go to Russian River in Santa Rosa. I think one of my favorite stouts I've ever had is from a place in Reading. It's Fall River Brewery, and they make a Irish cream coffee stout. Okay, so making sure I get the pin out on this correct. Yep. Me and my friends mad, drove to Casper, Wyoming to fix some stuff, came back with 2 bottles of no fireworks. I thought Lagunitas, their HQ is there, but the tavern is just south of us. Okay, so that's gonna come around, plug in right here. That'll tuck in well, so I mean, we won't have to tie it down much because it's just the right length. I think even can just start putting this stuff together. So little zip tie here. Nope. Gotta get the, can I sneak the label past that? Nope, I'll have to cut that. Get the label up there first, then we can zip tie it. Redding, R-E-D-D-I-N-G. R-E-D-D-I-N-G. Not really any place that's wonderful to visit, but they have a good brewery there. Barrel Brothers. We have a place here called Burning Barrel Brewery that's pretty good. They do really good milkshake sours. Okay, so that's gonna come here and just go straight into, this is gonna be a tight one, a little tight. Like that to have been not quite so tight. Let's put the label there. Milkshake sour, never heard of it. They had one that was a banana Foster, banana Fosters that was, I'm not big on sours and stuff like that, but this was really good. Okay, so now fortunately wire types are different, so I can snag the fan wires here. And then, well, let's do the RGB wires, because those are going right here next to this. So let's grab these, pull them forward in the little bits of channel. Yeah, the Banana Foster from that Burning Barrel Brewery here in Sacramento was fabulous. Okay, so there, and then across there, and then into there. So I think about that long. It's gonna be good. Oh, I gotta figure out where I'm gonna plug in where I need to plug in the tap, because that's something I don't want to forget. Just kind of follow along, so I'll retrim these kind of straight. There. Euro beers are really good and different than American beers. I mean, I had tried a few things in the UK. I will be trying more in Germany and Prague, hopefully. Serving American beers, and they're nice. I'm a fan. I'm not generally an IPA fan. I don't like hops. I don't like hoppy beers. I do. There are many like juicy hazy in the like tropical range that I do like, and it depends on how the weather is too. A little hotter day, one of those are nice, but in general I don't gravitate towards hoppy IPAs. What do we have here? The RGB wiring is ground, then the middle is signal. So ground. Hey James, if you like darker beers, you'll like Dunkelweizen. Dunkelweizen? Twist that. Beautiful park with beer garden in Prague. Good food too. Nice for an evening picnic. Cool. Oops, before I get too far, you guys almost let me not label this. Maybe next time I'll stick around and see what I can get into. Okay, almost let me not label this. Sure, I can get one of these through, but I don't think I would have been able to get all three of them through. There, ground, signal, got over, power. Ooh, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been able to get that together. What are you using to label? I have a, isn't that the way it goes, Bob? I have a Brother label maker that I use. It's not, I mean, it's the label maker I have. If I was going out and doing research on what label maker to buy, I'm not sure that that's the one that would come up. It's just the one that I happen to buy and use. And I can use generic labels off Amazon with it without any trouble, apparently. So it works for my case. Yes. They don't charge you subscription fees to print yet. Yeah, and they've got a nice little Windows app that I use to generate these labels on the bins here in front of me. Okay, so this plugs in that way. So if that plugs in that way, that one is ground. That one signal. That one is 5 volts. Since these are little floppy silicone wires, I'm going to use a screwdriver to push those in. Flip that around. And there we go. This is going to be the hot end fan, which is going to go into the middle there. So it's just going to come right around here. Kind of follow all of these. You could probably even just go in between. Nah, I'll go off the side here. Go right to there. Hot end fan label. Off topic, but I'm doing some demo extrusion engravings for ERF. Someone kindly repping for me as I can't attend. Got any pattern suggestions? Well, hexagons are the bestagons, right? But also overdone. Could do, there's so many options. Might just do a search on, just like a Google search of geometric patterns and see what stands out. Okay, so this is the hot end. So we want to, it is a 3-pin connector. So we are going to do pin 2 and 3. That doesn't seem right. Let's see what they say for the documentation, how to hook that up. I remember looking at this and being confused on another of these boards as to what pin to, oh shoot. I don't think this is compatible. Oh, I think I just ran into a roadblock. Actually, let me explain. Let's go to the documentation and let's go to the user manual. I think I just ran into a roadblock. I didn't realize. I should have realized, but I didn't. Ooh, a circuit board. Circuit board pattern would be cool. Okay, let's go through. Let's see. There's probably some information on what compatible hardware is for fans. Hot end fan driver compatible with 12 and 24 van, but the hot end fan driver compatible with 12 or 24 volt fan types with RPM speed input signaling. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. How does this actually work? Because these are a little different. And from what I'm learning and reading, there's a lot of thought put into this board. Some of it's a little weird, and a little different from what we're used to with other boards. But we'll see. Let's look at what is going on with this. So there's the pinout, and where do we find some information on how that hooks up? Working on circuit pattern 2, I need to clean it up a bit so it fills correctly. Hot end temperature sensor. It might be useful to know it's a 2.2K pull-up. Let's go more. Circuit for hot end heater. Now this is one of the kind of weird things. Someone explained this to me in a YouTube comment about setting this to 9.995 allows it to reset. If it was 100%, and this is probably might be missing the mark somewhat, but at a very basic level, having this not at 1.0 apparently allows this to reset in the overcurrent scenario. Nine. Fan driver outputs. Okay, the fan drivers, part fan and aux toolboard fan have a similar protection circuit to the hot end driver in case of overcurrent. So we do the same 995 max power. PWM duty cycle of the fan driver shall be limited to 99.5, meaning max power, to avoid the fan driver being stuck off due to the unlikely event of a fake error detection. Suggested configuration of the part fan driver. Hot end fan output. The hot end fan circuit is implemented using a microcontroller controlled DC to DC converter. PWM control of 3-wire fans will destroy the speed signal. This means there are moments when the fan is actually not supplied with power. Those moments of speed, yeah, that's just explaining that. Is that the possibility of limiting the maximum voltage according to the fan type the user has. That's cool. This output supports 12 or 24 volt fan types. Okay, so I'm okay. I just need to figure out which connections to plug it into. Since the fan driver is based on a DC to DC converter, the PWM frequency required for correct operation is defined by the converter design, not by fan properties. Maximum power, so I just want a 2-wire fan though. So it's got to be speed and ground. Yeah. So black and red, and then we just leave the tacho pin off. Yep, there we are. Okay. Perfect. It's not a roadblock. We're good. I was worried that this was set up for a 5-volt fan, but it's not. Okay. So that means that we'll get another one of these 3, oops, that's the 4-pin. Let's go to 3-pin. And that is, means power red is at the top. black is in the next one. It'd be, okay, so now that goes there, and I'm going to twist this, I think. Ah, there we go. Curse is averted. Grandkids have stopped threatening mutiny. Okay, so this, I actually want to flip that over. Just flipping the label over so it'll be legible. So now this, did I oh yeah, okay. Maybe I'll give that a little twist. There we go. So those are gonna go there. And then this is gonna come around. Plug in right there. These are all gonna just kind of go along there. And then the last one is gonna plug in there. Have you ever experienced ABS prints warping up from the center post-print? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the particular geometry and how to prevent that, I haven't quite nailed down. You print something and then it bows up away from the build surface. Yeah. Trying to watch the stream and get a toddler to sleep. ASA can warp like that too, yep. Go. April's home. Heat gun blast help to unwarp it. It can. You can get it pretty hot with a heat gun and then try to flatten it out. Got to be careful not to warp it. Not to warp it weirdly, like, yeah. Seems related to having a large flat area on the bed. Do you think it could be skew? No. Well, I mean. Okay. Okay, so that is that way. So it's the same thing. Okay. So same orientation for the wires. April's home. How are we doing? We're at 6:25 already? We're almost done with this. So we'll be on to umbilical stuff before we know it. Find ASA to be more forgiving. I've said it before, I have a preference to ABS. Mostly because I don't have to dry it. And I have to dry ASA. And ASA is just slightly more brittle. Oops, wrong way. That way. Okay. It's gonna go right there. Let's pull labels into their spots. And shoot, thermistor. Thermistor up there. And shrink. Okay. Now, these are going to get bundled through this zip tie slot. That was a dud of a zip tie. Let's try this again. Well, the noise canceling in OBS is phenomenal too, Charles. So it's not loud. That heat gun is not loud, but the noise canceling is really the star of the show there. People told me not to print PET G on a glass bed, but I'm finding PET J print PET on a glass bed, no glue, tape, or anything, and it pops off when it cools like PLA did. I think the special caveat there is borosilicate glass do not print without glue stick or something in between. You will pull chunks of the glass out eventually. Clee just made the official announcement about Reno? No, that's Taco. Taco made the official announcement about Reno. Yeah, that's not Clee. But yes. Yes, Taco. Okay, let me grab some more of those little cheap zip ties. Still like them because they're really slim. Oh, there you are. How are you? So who's gonna be at Vice? Who's gonna be at Vice? Who's planning on being at Vice? If you don't know what Vice is, go join the Voron Discord. Bill and Derek. It's very possible. Very possible we'd have to book a stadium. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So Vice is the weekend around October 4th in Reno, Nevada. And it's Vice stands for Voron International Community Event. And it's going to be a very low-key hangout, kind of hang out and talk about printers and stuff. So, hey Enzo, take care. Almost 100 likes. Awesome. We have 150 people here and almost 100 likes. We'll be at 100 in a moment, I'm sure. Oh, and I want to do one more around this bundle of them. Up the thumb button. Perfect. I like that. Up the thumb button. tuck that down in there. Now we've got a smooth path, everything in place. Eclipse, thanks for being a member. Say hello, gotta go to bed. See you, Spectra. Good night. Wish I could afford all these events on the West Coast, but Earth is the only event I can afford to go to. Yeah, there are so many events. This is just something that wanted to have something really kind of Voron community. And that doesn't mean that you have to own a Voron to go. You may just want to hang out with the Voron folks, or you may want to build a Voron or whatever. But it's really no vendors, no booths like there won't be vendor booths. There won't be content being created. There won't be any of those types of things. It is a hangout. Obi-Wan Kenobi, thanks for the gifted memberships. Kevin will be there, but it's safe to risk him on air travel. We will have Kevin there. We'll have Roger there. We'll have both of them talking about their flavors of Clipper, which is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of good information, I'm sure. No Polymaker filament giveaways. Nope. Take my DJI Creator Cam, totally record all the cool stuff. Yeah, but it's not like the interviews, you know, the typical, the general there won't be videos created around it, or at least that's not the intent. Okay, so I should still have all the clearance for the mounting here. The last thing we need to figure out is the tap. So tap is going to plug into, I think I'm just going to plug it into the X-stop port. I'm going to plug it into the X-stop port because I don't want to crimp a DuPont for the BL Touch port, and that is pretty much all that's left. And I don't want to plug it into the filament sensor port, so I think we're just going to use the X-stop port for tap. Just completed a XOL upgrade on one of my Trident 300s, working great so far. Awesome. Some of the talks will be recorded so some of us can play the home game. I mean, I'm sure there will be recordings, just yeah. Okay, so tap is gonna sneak in and plug in right there. Means it's just gonna come up and right under here and plug in there, because tap sits right here. So I think we'll do that on the printer. It's back in this little bag. Oh shoot, you're right, it is 3-wire. Never mind, I would have found that out eventually. Well, darn it, I guess we're crimping DuPonts. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Thank you. I appreciate that. Nope, yeah. I would have figured it out, but I'm gonna crimp DuPonts, and we got some DuPont terminals and a connector, so it's that much easier. And what do we have here? There's 5 volts, ground, and probe. So just the top three connectors. That's okay. I'll always take an opportunity to talk about the proper tools to use for crimping DuPont. But first, I need to find my wires. Connector looks to be bigger than the print head. Yeah. What do we got? We have that, and somewhere in this box, I think, is the tap harness. Oh, not that one. That one is Chaotic Lab. it should have a tap harness, or I can make one. Guess I'm gonna make one. Thought I had one right here. I'm using PA24 for DuPonts. They are amazing. It doesn't require you to sell a kidney. I have a JST around that'll fit, but and honestly, I have a JST that'll plug into those because it's the same pin spacing. But we'll go ahead and use the DuPonts. So DuPonts and wire. We need wire. What are we using back here for wire? We've got yellow being used for a signal, so we're going to use either a blue or a green. Just grab a... and a short section of something that we can cut up. Short section over here. Yeah, here we go. We'll use some of this. Use one of those. I'm crimping HH or PH with the smaller ones. Yeah, PH is down where it's easy. Okay, red, black, and blue. Red, black, and blue is what I'm going to use. Take off some amount of these wires to make my tap harness. Just gonna see right here real quick. These are really close, so if I do that, I'll have plenty. That's all I was checking. By the way, these are not DuPont's PV. What's PV? Okay, so this is more wire than I need for that, but I'm going to use that for my harness. If your wires were black, white, and red, I would have made a joke. Okay, so there, and let's go ahead and crimp this first. So my whole thing with DuPont crimping is you need a crimper that, oh. There we go. So the die here has an M shape. And that's okay for the conductor side. That's correct for the conductor side of the DuPonts. But you want a round shape for the insulating side. No M. M on this side. There you go. And round for the insulation. PV is the series of connectors. Oh, okay. Yeah, and I don't like even these crimpers. I've decided I don't like these crimpers. I don't like the ratcheting crimpers. They just hide everything. I can't see what I'm doing. And it's very, very frustrating. Do I have my others? Hey, I also have these. Hosen. You still around, Clee? And if you look on here, they have, you see the diameter, 1.6 millimeter diameter, that's a round die, and that's a 2.2 millimeter diameter round die. And then they have all the others with the M. So we're actually going to try to use this one. This is spring open, but it's a manual crimp. So I don't use these often because I keep forgetting about them, but I got them from Clee. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna find, let's go here in the 1.4s, I think. For the, yeah, that worked. And then the round die. See what it does there? It wraps those offset, come on, it wraps those offset tangs around and next to each other. And what that does is make sure that in this thin connector, it goes in nicely. P707, oh, these are, yeah, these aren't necessarily cheap, yeah. I don't remember what I bought them from Clee for, but these work. This is the SN025. I'm just not a fan of ratcheting crimpers in general. I am not a fan of ratcheting crimpers in general. I can't see. Perfect. Those crimpers aren't made in Germany. They shouldn't be called Hosen. Are they? I don't know. I don't know. I think they're Japan. Old school is still prefer Tyco crimps. So if I try to do these, so this is a matter of, you pretty much have to get this pre-loaded, and then where is the proper spot. So you want to make sure that your insulation side is in there right. Get it into where it just holds in place. And then once you put the wire in, it's a little tight. Now where is the insulation versus the conductor? And you end up with a nice crimp. You end up with a really nice crimp. I just don't like not being able to see it. So, leader husband. The Hosens are nice. Okay, this is that way, and what direction? So, ground on top, and 5 volts. And then probe signal. There we go. Now we can bring the printer up here and finish that off. We have 13 minutes. 13 minutes till Polymaker filament giveaway time. Has my stream stuttered at all? I thought I saw the thing moving. Okay. Yeah, let's take this all apart. Different people's different views. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't want to do the same crimp with 3 presses. I don't mind doing that when I never have crimp failures. So for me, a few times. Stream's been clean. Burp for a moment. Okay. It's not significant, at least, so that's good. Okay, now, actually I need to turn this back around. Probably go to this view. Okay, so this guy's gonna go on here. Like that, and I'm just gonna thread that in just a little bit, just hold it in place. Now we gotta get the screws up underneath. I do a pull test on each crimp and I always get spare crimp heads. I have 2 gig down. I wish I had 2 gig down. Actually, I wish I had more than 10 megs up. And that. Okay, so I'm not tightening any of these fully yet. Oh shoot. Well, that'll be fun. Yeah, that'll be fun. So we'll put all these in. What 4010s? These are Honey Badger. Okay, so kind of holding all this together. Snug those. Snug those. Snug these. Snug these. Now I've got to pull or shift the orbiter out of the way a little bit because there's 2 that go in from the top up here that I'd kind of forgotten about. So hopefully I have enough leeway. Yep, I can do it. So these guys go in here and sneak in from the front here to tighten those. There we go. Yep, that works fine. And there's no gap here when I kind of go through and tighten everything in that order, and then lastly put this guy in the front here. So everything seems to bolt together just fine with no real changes. It's just weird. This gets back up on there. This tightens down the. But does it blend? It could. This Finny managed to get 2 gigs on copper, and my up went from less than 20 to about 90. Nice. I just realized this wasn't Black Box. Black Box is Sunday. Okay. See? No gap there. Everything bolts together fine, and it's super sturdy. Yeah, super sturdy. Whole thing ships. Now, I think we're gonna go back to this camera. There we go. this is going to plug in right here. Make sure I've got it on the right pins. Yep, that goes there. And then these are just going to come, I think I'm going to come around here and tie them here and then just go into the sensor right there. That'll be nice and clean. Off to the side and right into there. So if I go, what's the pin out on this thing? Power's on top, signal and ground's on the bottom. So if I hold these, that orientation, do like that. I'm going to give a little extra because I'm probably going to twist this all up. So if I cut that right there. Jose. Okay. Now I need a pH. This didn't come with any pH. I only need 3, not this many. 2, 3, there we go. And, oh, that's fine, yeah. Then a connector. Is pH acid or base? Neutral. Okay, so we're not going to be able to get a good focus with the printer there. What time zone you're in? Almost 2 p.m. Oh, I'm on Pacific. I'm in California. Nice focus on the table. Yeah. That's why I'm saying I need to adjust this overhead camera and bring it further over here because this is where I'm naturally working, even when it's zoomed in. Not Hotel California. I am glad I'm not. I'm in my house, California. Okay. It's an unusually cool day today around here for the what it's been lately. It's been over 100 Fahrenheit. It says it only topped out at 88 today. Okay, what was this? Top one was, okay, so 5 volt signal and then ground. 5 volt signal, then ground. We got 4 more minutes till filament giveaway time. 99 here today. Heat index was 108. Ouch. Okay, so that's done. And then this is gonna go like this. So I'm just gonna do a couple little. Kind of form that into a spot and we can put it on the printer. T-4 with that many likes. Yeah, so now this plug in right here, all the way, and then this is going to twist around. I'm gonna redo this zip tie that's over here. Cover the zip tie that I dropped into the extrusion. Maybe. There we are. Get some gunk out of the rail. Re-zip tie this. Thanks, Isaiah. I've been pleased with this printer in terms of the theme. And we'll go one more down here a little further. There we go. That is wired up. Nothing is going to rub on anything. Cool. Is that printer ready for Easter next year? No, it's ready to go back to the 80s though. Okay, it is filament time. And then we'll do umbilical after. Yeah. And that is sturdy. Cool. So many printers are over a step that makes you think, why are we still doing X? Oh, I'm sure if I thought about it for a moment. Off the top of my head, no. Okay, link is in the pinned post and the description. I will close the entry form when we haven't had a new entry in 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Done. Awesome. We are doing mods to an existing build. This Trident, armored 3D printing, was not done on a stream. I built this off camera. Why are people still using belt or ball screws for Z when there's cheap C5 grade ball screws available? I don't know what are C5 grade ball screws. Okay, let me export this. Belts or lead screws. So there's packaging constraints. There's still complication of build constraints. There's still a cost constraint. Cheap is relative, right? That's so. Okay, cheese and potato, you got the first entry in. Let's do this. And Nutter. Scott, you're second to last. You're close. Okay, gonna do this a little different. I want you to type two things in chat. I want you to type another person's name and a number. Another person's name and a number. Hey, Brian. Another person's name and a number. Okay. Good job, Poity. Good job, Poity. Let's see. Another person's name and a... Daniel Mount, thanks for becoming a member. Well, I made this a whole lot harder than I wanted it to be. I had a thought. The thought, I mean, I thought about it about half a second before it came out of my mouth. 5. So I picked a name and then I went and searched for what number they picked. So, and then I kind of skipped over the ones that were like 90 and 99 and so I picked a name and then I went and searched for what number that name had chosen. So we're gonna go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spin. Who do we got? Robert G. Congratulations. You've won either a coupon to the US or Canada Polymaker stores or a roll of filament from a list of available filaments if you're outside the US and Canada. But you have to be here and you have 2 minutes to say something in chat. So. Robert G. And Andrea, you were the second one to put in the thing. Beard maintenance stream. This doesn't need no maintenance. What are you talking about? Robert G, are you here? You do need a haircut, but beard doesn't need maintenance. Robert G, congratulations. You will get an email from me sometime before the next stream. Awesome. Cancel. Paste that here. Make sure everything looks hunky-dory. It does. Awesome. Beard maintenance equals Milo project. Oh, speaking of which, for the very first time, I think the very first time, I did catch my beard in a printer. I'm 10 years younger than you and wish I had your head of hair. I did. I was working on the Rook, and one of the front idlers there, right out front, caught a couple of strands. Someone wanted me to spin it again. This is unofficial spin. Let's see what name comes up. Just about to roll today. We'll take a free roll. Who would have won? PDZ, not you. Not the person that asked me to roll again. Okay. Got my beard caught in the front idler of Mercury. Ew, that's not good. Let's get the umbilical on here. With hair, probably want ventilation for that. I told you so. Okay. I am planning on, so let's run this. Probably the front corner is going to be the spot. We have the umbilical. So I think I can just let's plug it in. Now this is set up so that a zip tie will hold that in place. So let's do that just so I don't accidentally pull on the board and I have some level of protection there. Slightly larger zip tie for this. Just slightly. Burned my finger on the hot end more times than I want to admit. I did that today. I burned my finger on the positron as I was after stream getting it unloaded, and I wanted to see how hot the silicone sock was, and I accidentally touched part of the metal at the same time. Maybe we'll try this view. Yeah, here we go. You bringing any printers to Earth? I am not. Like the usual blood sacrifice when we're working on cars, fingerprint is not really done until it takes a hair or two. Going to run feed tube along with the wiring. I am going to do the same thing that I did on my green V2, if anyone was here for that. Now, are we all, nope, wrong way, all the way out. So let's get a zip tie around here just so I don't give some protection against pulling on that board. Thank you for the reminder to do all the things with the pins and the description. We'll do that here momentarily. PDZ, yep. Umbilicals being better than drag chains these days. We really like the look of chains. I do too, and I'm still unconvinced, but let me depin, unpin, and get rid of it in the description. And save. Okay. I caught up. Welcome back, Bill. Okay, so with this all the way forward and to the side, we are going to bring the umbilical cord to the back, and I'm going to tuck it into this LDO harness is the perfect size to stick in these 2020 extrusions and stay put. So right there like that, and it stays. Now, so let's see how this is. Maybe I can just stay on this camera view, but the idea is go in the full motion, and what'll end up happening is that'll go around there, and then it just kind of folds forward when it gets there. It should come up here. Yeah, that's about where I want it to be. It's going to It might rub a bit on the top panel, but it is under that level right now. So I think that's where I'm going to put it for lengthwise. So specifically where it exits back here might change, and I'm going to use this piece that I modeled for the V2 to hold it in there, just to make sure that it doesn't slowly work its way out of this extrusion. It needs a top hat. You're welcome to make a top hat. It's not hard. Okay, so now I am going to, and I know I did this on the V2, but I am going to run the cord in the extrusion past the A drive here. So everything, and then I'm going to exit just past here and then follow along the zip tie mount so that my stepper wire can also follow along there. Does that make sense? Oh, on Tridex, I like my setup on Tridex. It seems to be working pretty well too. Okay, so, but in order to do this, I need to depin the connector. So I am going to take pictures to make sure that I don't mess this up. So there we are. Okay. I'd much rather look at a static picture for that. Then we're going to use our magical microfit depinning tool from the same company that makes this. Jay, ready? Your insight, please, on XY motor watt requirement. I got Cyber all-wheel drive Trident that has 2.5 amp motors. I got a UHP. So there's some, from what I understand, there's some unintuitive electrical things when it comes to current requirements for steppers. And I would highly recommend looking up Eddie the Engineer's YouTube channel, because he's covered some of that. So Eddie the Engineer, if you search for that on YouTube, you will find his channel, and you will see some awesome detailed technical explanation on how steppers work and how current on steppers work. A video of making the picture. Pretty amped up about current information. This tool is just so amazing. By trial and error. Well, I mean, when you're talking about current values in your firmware and configuring that, that's different from what power requirements, what power supply you should be running. Okay, so I don't have to twist this. I'm going to try to keep this going through this channel in a consistent way. So now this will come out. There we go. We can just push this through. What arcade game does this Loadout? Is that what it is? Outrun. outrun. Okay, pull this. There we go. If your Trident or the Y extrusions from a X is from a 350. X is from a 350, Charles. I do. I at least need a little symbols emoji, right? LDO uses high current steppers. I fried the Creality stepper that came with my dual, running at the same current as the steppers on my Neptune 2. Seems off struggle with the concept because of it's a DC device, but the steps effectively make it AC for some factors. Okay, so now I don't know if we'll be able to get in there and see, but there is an air gap here between the belts and the umbilical running through there. So I'm going to leave that right like that, and we can adjust it if we need to, but now it can come down through the, and now we're going to repin this. This is basically, I'm looking at these, all of the tangs are in good spots. I don't feel like I need to tweak any of them, bend them back into shape. So that one goes there. That one goes there. There we go. Then I'm going to use my little screwdriver to push all these in. And then one more. That one's being a pain. Okay. Let's pull this, and why are you being a pain? That's the shielding one, which I'm sure wasn't. There we go. Nope, it pulls out. Okay, let's look at this one in a little more detail. Let's go ahead and bend these out just a little bit. Make sure I've got that pulled. And then right. Okay, I think that'll be okay. I hope so. Got 3 Discord messages in about a minute shortly after 10. Thought I went polar tid for a minute. Nope. Okay, and then that's there, and that goes down under the deck. Okay, so I have one stepper connector over here, and this one's going to do the same thing. So that's just going to hide behind this, I think. And it'll go right, yep, right there. So let's go ahead and there's some other, I want to use other zip ties on this. There we go. I have to do 70%. So we're going to move this right here. I'm going to arrange it with it crimped into place so it's kind of gets hidden by the main umbilical wire there. This thing I remember is Steve saying 7 minutes. 7 minutes for what? Molex sells a pusher for this task. Oh, that'd be interesting. It's interesting to see and see how it works. And that'll just hang out there until I can get a little... I know I have some little pigtails to go from the JST PH on the steppers to my microfits here. I think I already have some of those. I don't need to remake them if I have them, so, and we don't need them today, so I will find them. But that is the umbilical ran. Now, the rest of that, see this, if you've seen this design that I did, this goes here, and then the exit here, this will follow right along the same path. See, and then a couple of zip ties close here will get it moving in the same direction, and it's all coming out at the same angle. So, so this is something I modeled. I modified the LDO little blank plate here, which is a modified version of the Voron parts, and then just modeled in this little clamp to hold the PTFE in a 45-degree entry. See you, Charles. Thanks for sticking around, hanging out. He's setting up reverse Bowden. Yeah, so this is the filament guide path is what would be more accurate. This goes here, and then this comes around and mounts to this side of the printer. So then I just have a nice even, and then there's a spool holder that mounts right here. So I'm not going to bolt all this in right now because I think it'll just get in the way. But that kind of shows that should follow the wire, the tool head harness we just put in. Sent that Molex tool to Discord. Look. Oh. That looks well, that's interesting. How much is it? It is. There are expensive tools, and then there's expensive tools. Holy moly. For a stick on a ring. And this thing's probably about that long, if that. Does this say? Yeah. That filament guide setup, don't knock it, is on my GitHub. It is out there on my GitHub. Wow. Okay. Let's look at, because the next thing we're going to need to start figuring out is electronics layout. I'll a piece of metal into that shape. I don't think I have them right here. There's a very similar tool that KB3D was selling for a very small fraction of that price. I don't have any right here, but it's the same basic thing. Okay, let's start here and flip this thing over. Is there any issues I'm going to have if I do that? No. Ooh, I haven't looked at the underside of this for a while. So, this is our basic setup. I would resin print that tool. I'd file down an Allen wrench for that. It's a cup. It's like a tube, and you cut it in half long ways, and then file the end into that little shape. Is what that thing looks like. So, and I have something from KB3D. I think Lineo might have been making them that looks basically the exact same thing. Anyway, 48 volt power supply. This is an IRM 90. Oh, there we are. IRM 90. Blue is a bit more flexible. The linear ones required some modifications, but did well. Okay, just making sure everything not on anything here. Yeah. Leviathan controller with a Pi 4. So now to gain a little bit of room, I'm taking out the 200 watt power supply that I had in there. And we are going to install a 150 watt power supply. So this 200 watt power supply is here. I could get one of the slim UHP, is that right? Series supplies, but I don't have one. And those can be expensive. So we are going to put in a 150 watt here. That gives me a little extra space, plus some room to work in here. See you, Prince, frankly. Is that one of the contraband power supplies? No. I'm getting a call from Santa Monica, California. Go to voicemail. It's spam. No, Mornsun is the power supply manufacturer that's on the naughty list. Okay, so let's put the power supply in, and we can start looking at what other layout things. So power supply, and I had messed up. It's been a while since we've looked at power supply stuff, but this is a mount that I made for the LRS 150. Found something you might like for PSU on AliExpress from Meanwhile. You might send it to you on Discord. I'd have to join the Discord. Discord link is in the description. Yeah, put it in the stream chat thing and tag me. Anyway, this is the mount that I had printed for this, and this screws down like that, and then the DIN clip screw in here. The problem is this installed the power supply crossways when I need to install it this way. So I remixed it so that the DIN clips go right here so it installs inline. So let's get heat sets in this one and get it installed. I don't have any of that fancy stuff there, Chris. So let's put those in, and then we'll get the power supply installed, and we'll just kind of probably talk about layouts, because I probably need to model a mount or two for the things we're going to be putting in here. Awesome. I just got that tag, Battledore. Thank you. Okay, so that, and then I need the DIN clips. One and two DIN clips. And two self-tappers. There they are. And the tweezers. It's the easiest way to get these out. Three and four. Meanwhile, LOP. I'm going to turn on went CAN bus, Manta M8 and CB1. Love the minimalist effect by ditching extra wiring components. LOP series, huh? Let's see. What do those look like? Oh, that's cool. Extra considerations needed for mounting those because they're not enclosed. So you want to make sure you're still doing things safely. So, but that's a good thing to know about. I would not probably want to install one of those in the base of this Trident. It's because you're exposing a lot more things. Okay. That, and then this on here with a couple of button head screws. Expects to be mounted to something that would be considered a heat sink. There's a lot of that we do, Bill. You're right. We do a lot of using stuff that expects to be heat sunk and things like that. Okay, so there and there. Hey, Deanna. Then, oops, I got it backwards. I got it backwards because there's two screws that screw into the bottom of the power supply. That should line up. Working with Vitali and UHP CNC mount, nice. So there's two holes here and these should line up with those. So I had it backwards. Those two screws and then two, I think. Oh, not that. Holy moly, that shouldn't be in there. Is that what I want in there? Yeah, and 3x8. And that just kind of locks it on a little better. finding the spot. Okay, why is that not finding it? I could probably go that way just a hair. My laptop running very sluggish. Too much fusion. Too much fusion. Okay. So now this can go on here, right? Like that. And then these are going to move to this side and switch orders. Neutral ground. Go ahead and get these out of the way. Don't knock it. Thanks for the gift of memberships. How many iterations did you go through before that part was proper? That is the first print after modifying the other one. And the other one was probably a couple of revisions. No, 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 that was wrong. So, live, here we are. Neutral. And protected earth. No, and I can probably shift all of this closer to the SSR and give myself a little more room here. So now things we need to plug in under here are, I need to find a spot and a mount for this guy. Find a mount for that guy, and that's probably going to mount this reach. Yeah, I'll probably mount this right here, right on the end here, because this is where the yeah, because that's the power wires for the old one from the Nighthawk or whatever was in here before. So that's going to go there. And that's already the USB cable that's in spot for that. And then we have the, where is it? Thought I brought it out here. Then we have the little WLED ESP board that's going to plug in under here. Here it is. So then I think the idea is I'll be able to fit this right here. So I think that is all I need under here. This was the thing I really needed extra room for. Otherwise I'd be finding somewhere for it. But my favorite machining channels use SolidWorks. Artisan makes. Oh, does Artisan make use SolidWorks? I like watching his stuff. A thing called IronCAD that allegedly is as powerful as Fusion, but significantly easier to learn. It doesn't run on Macs, I assume. This is an ESP32, one of these guys, Espressif. But we're gonna run WLED on here. There we go. This is from Chamois. So this is from XR Bunker and Chamois and WLED distribution board. So, but I don't have a mount for that yet. I need to make a little DIN mount, and it's going to mount there. I'm going to make a little mount. I was looking. I don't think this a mount has been made for this yet. So a little mount to go there. Overkill for WLED. Well, that's what it says. It says a WLED distribution board. And with that, we're going to be putting in, as part of that, is the little LED fan mounts on either side. So that'll give us some configuration options. Because I'm putting a few more LEDs in here than I would have had. I think I had more things in here. I think I'm gonna probably run, I don't know, no kill like overkill. And it gives us something else to configure and play with. So with that, I think we're gonna call it for the day. I'm gonna look like a disco nightclub in a printer. We're gonna have to find more things, more LEDs to put in here for sure, because just these side fans isn't gonna be enough. But I feel like we had a lot more things to do, a lot of other LED things to install. If I don't, then I will find some, and we will put them in here. So, skirt LEDs, front logo LEDs. If you time your steps correctly, you can get this printer to dance live while printing. For sure, an all-out mod printer. That's kind of the idea. Just throw a bunch of stuff at it, right? That's what the Tuesday series was for, is to catch up on all these little miscellaneous things, and try them out. Raspberry Pi could control the LEDs, yeah. But I mean, there's some level of LED control that can be done with the board, and yeah. Well, we got the side fan LEDs that'll be here. And we'll find more. We'll find more. I doubt I'm going to get to Charlie's Angels stream this Saturday, so we'll just take a chance, and I might be loopy on the 27th after getting an implanted, the post implanted for my tooth. So we'll do the Charlie's Angels stream on the 27th. Back on the black box. Back on the black box on Sunday. So we will be finishing the wiring and getting into installing the water cooling. So with that, thanks for hanging out. Thanks Polymaker for letting me give away Filament, and thanks for gifted memberships and new members. And what do we got? We got Chamois, XR Bunker, we got Vitali for the tap, and we got Fabrico for the double T CNC Gantry, and LDO for the Orbiter Toolhead extruder and toolhead board. Thank you. Have a good rest of your week, and hope to see you Sunday. Take care and enjoy the build. Bye.